What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Though Show. It's your boy Dame D.
And your girl, Shawnee DJ D. I said that all wrong.
There you go. We DJ Shiny D, and today we're going to be talking about who's more happy is being married or living a single life. We've all been single before. And if we've been and some of us been married before. So we're going to have a good conversation. We got a so far we got a great panel up here, and I just want to have a good conversation. About this subject. So DJ Shiny D, I'm gonna have you lead it off and go ahead and get it started.
All right. So I've never been married. So I can't really speak on the married side of things. I know as a single person with no children, I kind of see the grass as greener on the other side. But most of my friends that are married, they see my life as greener. Because I can kind of go and do what I want. And so I think we always want what we don't have or what we haven't had. You know what I mean? So I'm there.
Okay, okay. And then one thing I did not do, I did not allow for everybody to introduce themselves to the show. So I'll go ahead and start. We got Big Dave Crawford, Real Talk with Big Dave, that's going to join us. We have Joseph Knows that's going to join us, and Linda Nelson. And also we have BJ3 on the other end that's going to join us too. But yeah, we've all been married. Being married has its perks, and all of us can test to that. I'm gonna ask you this question, Linda. What what makes you more happy, far as being married, with the perks that being married comes with, you know what I mean, versus when you were single. So just give everybody your opinion on what makes you more happy being married than single.
I think you can find happiness in either one. It just depends on what season you're in. I've been single, I've been married, I've been single again, I've been married again. So I'm learning from your mistakes by being married and then finding what season that you're in, learning how to be content, I think is what works for you. And then finding that person that you're not going to ever find a perfect person, but
No.
learning how to get along with your mate, I think is important also.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, because
But do
yeah,
you ever
because being married has its perks. You know what I mean? Far as just bill wise, you know what I mean. Never being alone. Those are the perks that you have being married. Versus being single. And I'll allow Big Dave to come on in and give his opinion on what makes him being most happiest. Being single, meaning that you're a single man, Big Dave. So give me your opinion on what makes you being happy being a single man.
I mean, I'm all good with it. I do what I want. I go when I want. I don't have to answer to no one. But what I'm saying. I'm content with that. It's all about the person. Some people don't believe in being single. Some people want to be married. Some people, I believe, get married for the wrong reasons. But me, I haven't. I've been in relationships though that lasted 13 years, so you would have thought I was married. And
Right.
right before I was ready to do it, it just was just too much. And I said, I can't do it. I'm good being like it is. That's where I'm at with it right now. I ain't saying I would never do it, but in my mindset, I don't need the papers or the ring. I mean, I don't need the papers to do it. In
did
my
she feel the same way? Did she feel the same way?
who the
Or
young
did she want to get married?
no, she was mad that I didn't want to do it because
Mhm.
but if we not doing good, we lasted 13 years. Well, it's steady drama, drama, drama in the situation, and the kids is not happy. So why even go any farther with that? That don't make sense. Just to say you married, that didn't make sense to me. So I backed out of that and got away from that person. It's easier that way. I just think when you get married, it's gonna be with somebody that that you think you can build with, and y'all got a lot in common, and y'all can grow together. When it started to get out of whack, I don't think I can deal with that kind of stuff. So I'm good with the way it is, because I want the person to stay on the same level. I know we're gonna have problems, but at the end of the day, it's all about if you're going to communicate to work through the problems and sometimes people don't want to do that. So I'd rather just do what I do.
So
Right.
you have
Because
children with her? You got children with her?
My
How
first
many?
got 2 children with one, and I got another one with another one.
Okay, got you. Got you. Okay.
okay, and being single, can have its perks too. You hear a lot of single people talking about that. You don't have to worry about, if your significant other is cheating. A lot of people say they sleep good at night, being single, being in a relationship or being married, you know what I mean? Because those are things that you have to worry about being in a marriage, your partner cheating on you, and just things like that. You know what I mean? So Joseph A. Knows, I want to ask you this question. What do you think you're more happier being married or being single, living a single life, I should say?
Man, I've been both. Marriage to me, I'm more happier. Um, don't get it wrong. You see what other people live in, so you see the freedom that they think they have. But I feel like when we marry, I have the same freedom. So
Okay.
yes, I don't get to sleep around and just do what I want to do. No, that's not. I don't call that freedom. But if that's freedom for a lot of people. I understand it, but being married comes with a lot of perks. It comes with a lot of responsibility, but it comes with a lot of benefits behind that. And I think the benefits outweigh being single.
Okay. All right. And I can agree with you on that, to a certain, well, a lot of people would agree with you on that to a certain extent. You have a lot of people on social media, that's been talking about, this single versus being married, and a lot of women think it's a flex to be single, and you hear a lot of this talk, DJ Shiny D, and I want to ask this question, to the people that may be single, how does it make, a person that's single, like during certain holidays, like Sweetie's Day or Valentine's Day, when you see couples together and out and about, you know what I mean? Does that make, a single person feel some type of way?
No, and I can't really agree with what you said earlier
Go ahead.
when you said single people think it's a flex. I
Yeah,
actually
you
see it
got a
the
lot of
other way.
women out here on social media flexing about being
But they
single and the
flexing.
things that come with being single. But go ahead.
Mm.
I don't see it that way. I actually see it as a thirst trap is what women are doing on social media to try to get a husband. They just want, a high value, whatever they want to call that, whatever they say. But my thing is, I see it a different way. Like you all can marry the wrong person and it could be miserable for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is about picking the right person. If you pick the right person, marriage could be a very beautiful thing. If you
Mm-hmm.
marry the wrong person, it could be awful. And I feel like until I find the right person, then I will stay single. And I just was raised in a household that you didn't have kids before marriage. You didn't,
Yep.
you just didn't. And so people now look at me like there is something wrong with me because I have never been married and I don't have children. They just feel like, oh, well, why hasn't some guy talked you out of it or tricked you into? But I've just always stood strong on the fact that I didn't want to be a single mom. And because single moms do a lot. They have to be everything. So
Right.
I never wanted to do that. So since I didn't get married, I didn't have children. It's just the really simple,
You're right. Put stuff
you
there
know.
over there. You're
So
Okay.
right.
Well,
I'm not gonna be
BJ3,
the wrong person.
We're randomly cleaning it, randomly, and then
I'm
leave
gonna
it
ask you
in the
that
right.
same question, BJ3. Does it make you more happier being married, versus being living a single life, being a single man?
I say, I agree with my man Joseph. Mostly everything he said. I just will add to. I've seen, family members, go through, figuring it out, and then you get to a certain age, and it just seems like you would rather have somebody that you had some type of camaraderie with, whether it was, you get through the tough times and you have that person toward the end, you know what I'm saying, where you can lean on them and they lean on you, and you know what I'm saying, that know what you're saying without you really saying it, So I think ultimately, depending on the person, I'm the type I'm gonna make it, it do what it do on either side. But when it's all said, if I'm answering the question, then marriage, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so many more perks. You just figure it out. Because Shani was saying you have to wait for the right person. Sometimes even with the right person, you're gonna have you're gonna have up and downs too. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
know
be
that.
all roses, just because you got the right person. Everybody got to work on what they need to be working on all the time. It's a constant um, adjustment being
Okay.
made.
Okay,
Mm.
well,
That's my
DJ
answer.
Shiny D, I'm gonna allow you to go on ahead and speak some things that you may want to talk about on this subject, before we switch over to something else.
Well, I just think, the easiest question to ask in that is if you won $50 million today in the lottery, would you still stay?
Mm.
That's the question.
In your in the marriage.
Yeah.
I ask myself that question all the time. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. I remember.
Good
But
question.
you know
I
what
don't
though? But
answer.
you know
I don't.
I do,
Well, go ahead.
and
I'm allow
ultimately,
Linda to answer that question first, and then you can come in, BJ3. Yeah, in a situation like that, some financial may hit you, like $50 million. Would that entice you to, maybe
Mm.
not be in a relationship that you in now? You know what I mean?
That, that's that's that's
You
That's a
could give
great question.
her
You can go ahead,
And then
Linda.
Wow.
the other side of that is if your spouse loses all their money, loses their job, and they don't have any money, would you still stay?
That is
but
a great,
that
yeah,
mean
flip.
Yeah, see now
Come
that's
on.
on the other hand, that's a great question. Are you willing to stick around? If your spouse end up, coming sick or losing everything, that's how you see who the true ones is. You know what I mean? If you have a true one in your relationship, if you take ill or become sick, you know what I mean? So in situations like that, most people find out, if they have a true partner or a lifelong partner, but DJ Shiny D, I'll allow you to go ahead and because that was definitely a good question. I like that.
All right. So you want to go to the next subject?
Yeah, I mean, we can stay on both, but
Oh, okay.
I just want to, hit on that. What makes people most happy is, being in a married situation or living a single life. Because like I said, most people that's and I'll say that this is the new generation, that kind of try to flex that single life, and throw that around like it's a good thing. To me, being married, is a great thing. There's nothing more than waking up to your significant other. At the end of the day, everyone wants someone. We were all put here, to be happy and hopefully spend our life with somebody. So at the end of the
I
day,
think.
that's my opinion on that situation. But
I
go ahead, Joe.
just think that most people got the marriage thing wrong.
mm.
Listen, if things go wrong in my life, like we lose everything, I would not want to do this by myself. I would rather have my wife there with me, and we come together and we figure this out.
Right.
Somebody brought up that you get to do what you want to
you
do
ready, ready?
and all this other stuff, and I don't understand that logic. I always want to be married. That's why I tried more than once. My wife, I'm gonna be honest with you, my wife, I never really understand that marriage stuff until I got with her. I tried it before, that didn't work. I was miserable. So somebody said you was miserable. You could be miserable single too, but I was miserable being married to my last wife. I was miserable. She didn't have the mindset to do anything, didn't have the mindset to grow, and I was miserable. But with my current wife, if I want $25 million, I'm splitting that 2.5 to her. She getting automatically 12.5.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Mm.
So
are you gonna stay though?
Well,
all I'm saying, I mean, because
Okay.
here's the thing, I wouldn't want. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know it sounds kind of corny, but if I actually won $25 million, I wouldn't want that without her because that would be an opportunity for us to experiment together on new things and try new things. go to new places. I would not want to do that by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Everything sounds good. Everything sounds good, but it depends on the people. Because
Hmm.
he might be that way, but everybody don't think that way. It is what it is out here. And it ain't just single people thinking that, because there's a lot of people getting married and they being phony. They
Hmm.
Right. That's true.
being honest. And that's why it ain't working. Your girl is a beauty. I mean, your girl is a beauty queen. She's built like hell, and then she get fat as hell. Now you don't want her.
Right.
Undercoverly, you telling your friends you don't want her. Just like this man on the Coney Island on the corner, and him and his wife act like they was happy. They Arabs, but they act like they was very happy. And the minute the lotto came out, remember when the lotto first came to Michigan?
Hmm.
Lotto first came out, she hit for $1 million, not 50 million, $1 million, and
And left.
laugh his ass. So she really didn't care for him at the get go. That's how that
Where
thing.
you gonna go? I mean, you marry with $50 million, have go to him anyway.
And that's all I'm saying. People
Not
know
if you're single.
each other. People say they marry.
Well,
Not if you're single.
They don't
yeah,
be
that's true.
single because at the end of the day, if you happy, you're gonna find a way to get through things. Y'all gonna find a way because everything ain't hunky dory. I don't care if you're married, I don't care how many years you've been married. If y'all really care, y'all gonna find a way to get through it like our grandfathers and grandmothers did. See, marriage ain't like that today because everybody want what they want and motherfuckers is selfish. And I ain't saying it ain't no married people out here that because I got a buddy and his wife and they young, 50 and 49, but they've been together 25 years and they've been married for 20.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
Well, like
so
I'll
but
tell you this.
majority,
I agree on both sides. I've been married twice. And I'm in my second marriage. And I've lived a single life. And I think being married makes me more happiest, versus being single, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like what Joseph was hitting on, and what Linda said, at the end of the day, you can take ill or come to your deathbed. It's always good to know that you have that significant other or that someone by your side to, help you through, any situations, whether it's good or bad. And I'm not
yeah.
saying that to say anything about, being single, because like I said, single has its perks too. You know what I mean? So, we just wanted to talk about, both sides, and just get everyone's opinion, on being married versus being single. You know what
Let
I
me say
mean?
this. Let me say this. I think that you being happy, like if we go back to the question, you being happy is an inner thing. It,
Right.
it it is something inside of you. Happiness is a choice. You choose to be happy.
Okay.
So it is where you are choosing to be happy. It's yourself. Because you can, say, I want a man and I want to be married with a picket fence all you want to. But if you get that and you are not choosing to be happy in that, you're going to be unhappy and you're going to wish you were single because it's a lot of work. Each is a lot of work. Single is a lot of work. Married is a lot of work. It is just, do you want to divide your work time and you're getting through things with someone else, or would you just rather navigate, and until you find somebody that you can choose to be happy with?
well, I get that.
Hmm. I
That's
think
why
that,
yeah.
I
That's
think
why
that marriage sometimes can be like a mirror. And
oh,
like Dave was saying, inherently we're selfish. And
Hmm.
so when you're married, you have to be the total opposite of selfish. You have to think about what your spouse wants and how they feel and what they might be going through, even if you're going through something. So
exactly.
it takes a lot, but it kind of makes you grow up some and mature. And
Yeah, that's true.
Can
I
I
agree
ask
with you 100%, Linda.
can I
Because when you're going through some things, your significant other is there to, to bring you up or to lift you up, no matter is it, good or bad, So that's always a good thing, But DJ Shiny D, what else do you have on your mind?
I just want to see if y'all want to talk about something else real quick.
Go
All
ahead.
right. So, do you think that plastic surgery is connected to a mental illness?
All right, here we go talking about these BBLs.
You, so you, oh, you
And
referring,
I'll
hold on,
start
the
off with
plastic
my opinion
surgery.
on that.
You talking
This
about?
this is a conversation and a topic that's definitely needs to be needed. We definitely gonna have to do another show about that. But me, I think it's a mental illness. When you can't accept how the creator made you, or you can't accept even fixing your situation yourself by going to the gym and just working out. So me, my opinion is I think this BBL stuff is just gotten out of control, and people just need to accept who they are and is as a person.
I
So to
mean,
answer your question, the whole cosmetic plastic surgery stuff, it's some bull stuff to me, in
No,
my
but
opinion.
the plastic surgery is the outward expression of your self hate.
mm.
That's all it is.
That's
It's
a
really
mental illness. That's a
it's,
mental illness.
it show how much you hate yourself. You got I put it on my page all the time. The bigger the eyelashes, the uglier you feel on the inside.
Okay, Joseph.
Wow.
It's
See, and I
true.
like that one, because I hate them big
The
old
big
snuffle up against eyelashes. So
That
that's a
means
good
they
one.
hate themselves. They hate themselves. They feel ugly. That's why they got bigger. You got some women that's pretty. They have it just to bring a different look, right? Those are one that's confident. Every level it goes up, that's how much they hate themselves. The BBLs are the same. We got a girl at a job that got a BBL. Most of them hate themselves. They hate themselves. It doesn't look right. You think it's cute because you're getting attention, but when it slouch over, it look like clay that was not formed correctly. You
See,
look
and my
you
my
look
opinion,
ugly,
the
man.
only women that should be doing that is women who's out entertaining, who's out hitting that stripper pole at night, or making money.
I mean,
The average woman who's walking around here going to a job every day,
well,
who's really not, in the entertaining business, really has no need. Now I
well,
can see if it was something like a deformity or something like that, where you're getting plastic surgery, or you may have big breasts. For a woman, you may be getting a breast reduction, or something like that. But anything to try to enhance of what you look like already, it's just like Joe said, it's just a form of self-hatred.
I don't think. I mean, you can't have it both ways. No one should be doing it if that's the case. I don't care if you in the entertainment business. You shouldn't be doing it. Period. If it's going to cause a problem to your body, that's a fact. People do it because they like doing what they want to do. Because you know what? Come to find out, I ain't never in my life seen a guy to go get abs did, but they said it's out here. You can go get abs.
Yeah,
You
that's
I just
true.
think, I just think that's kind of judgmental. Like,
and see,
I think that, yeah, and I found this question because Corey Holcomb talked about it on his show,
I
and
love
he kind of felt like
5150.
yeah, yeah, he kind of felt the way y'all felt, and I felt it was so judgmental because, like me, I always had bigger breasts,
it.
and like playing softball and all that, guys will always, make comments on different parts of my body.
All right.
So it really just depends on what you're looking for. Because I got that unwanted attention, I went and had a breast reduction because I didn't want that kind of attention. There are some girls who just hate a part of their body, that just don't like it. And so they have a choice and a right to go and get something enhanced. But it is the excessive stuff. Like, you got lips, you got fillers, you got Botox, you got weave, it's just what is real about you. Those are the ones that we should think about at a mental illness. But yeah,
Right.
if you got a little fat on the side and you want to be smooth, you could
Yeah,
work
but
out. You can
Okay,
work
so
out.
what's your
But who
opinion
got
on
time
that,
for that when they
Linda?
got
Do
a
you
sugar
think
free?
women or men who go out and get these plastic surgeries, have a mental illness?
Yeah, yeah, y'all putting glue on y'all forehead too.
I
Now,
don't. I'm bald headed,
I
I'm
think
just
that
saying.
not
and
necessarily a
I
mental
would if it
illness.
looked.
I think sometimes it's who you surround yourself with and what's normal in your culture, who you around, the people you're around. It may seem normal. It may be normal. If you're inside of a culture or a situation where everyone is doing this and this is their measure of what beauty is, then after a while you're going to start thinking, okay, well, something wrong with me. Then maybe I need to do something to achieve that also.
Well,
Nah,
So
it seems like,
I
and I'm
don't
gonna be,
think I don't
and
think
not to
people are
I
be,
disagree with that.
necessarily mentally ill. I just think
Well,
that people do what they need to do
Do
because
what
of
they
the
want
way
to
that they feel that they
that's
just like we do anything else.
a
right.
non-informing
Okay.
mental illness, doing something we see other people do, and you think that's norm. Just because it's normal, other people do it, don't mean I should do it.
Yeah,
As much
and
as
that's
people want
That's
to
logical
mental.
be
for
That's
us to
mental.
think that way, but
I,
a
See,
lot of people are followers,
see, but you know
I,
and a
what?
lot of people
That's
want to fit in.
what you guys agree. That's mostly in the black community. You know, that's what doing exactly what you said, Linda. Seeing, you
no,
know,
I don't.
one girl get,
no,
you know,
no,
a
no,
BBL or
Oh, I don't.
a butt
no,
job done. You know,
no,
going to
No.
going to
no,
get it.
no.
You know, because you didn't hear about a lot of black women getting these BBLs done.
No, no,
You know what I mean?
no.
This is within the last what, maybe 4 or 5 years that this trend on
That's not
started.
a.
You know what I
No,
mean?
But
that's not
but
true.
Who
that's not a
started?
black.
Dang,
That's
who?
not a white people started that.
That's
I,
right.
I
White
get
people
it, but what
started
I
that
mean
Not
is
black
trend.
people. White people
With,
do a lot
we've
more than
taken
we
it
do
to a
too.
point where it's out of control, where it's
No, we
almost
not.
like
No, we did.
what
No, we
LaShawn
did.
was saying.
But
No, we did.
if you watch these
White people.
videos, what
White
kind
people
of
do it.
women are you seeing in these videos? You
White.
know, these videos that, you know, what do they have?
that's
So if you know, young girls turn into older girls, and maybe that mindset doesn't leave you, but it's out there.
What?
That's the culture.
That's
that's what
white
they
people.
want.
I
That's
see more white people do it than black.
they want us to believe
See, Joe,
that
I'm
it's
I'm I'm
that
gonna have to
black.
disagree with you on that, Joe. Now I agree with you in the beginning. That's something that you used to see
You
white
know
women
what?
doing. You know,
You know why?
Brazil, and they actually, well, we label. It's always been called a BBL. It was a Brazilian butt
But
lift,
wait,
but
wait.
you know that's something that you've never saw black women
Here-
doing. You know, this is within the
Here's the
last
reason.
5 years that that they've been losing their
What's
mind
going
over
on
this. You've
right
been
now?
having women
Well,
putting goddamn fix it flat in their ass.
here's the thing.
That's because they
Wait,
getting
normally, when you see black women doing it, they ugly. They ugly
That is
because
so.
hold on,
For
they
God to
ugly.
do.
They ugly, or something happened to them. But you know why black women
So
was not the originator of this? Because something about black women. Let me say about with these beautiful black women out here, and I'm just saying that because I don't take it out of heat. But the reason why black women are not doing this because black women has always been figured. They have curves, they have the ass, they have the tip.
always.
You didn't have what black women didn't have to do that. The
So,
only
so
ones you
pretty
see,
much, it's almost like what LaShawn is saying. It's almost like a mental issue. You know, we've our women had this. So why the hell are our women actually putting themselves and actually losing their lives? You know,
and I
putting
just
all this
explained it.
this bullshit in
They
their body.
ugly. You
No,
see,
because of
look at the
y'all.
woman at a
Because of
job. Look at the
y'all.
women at a job. Women at a job that got BBLs. All of them
Yeah,
ugly.
But
and
No,
this
that's
majority
not
no,
of
true.
these young ones. You know, this
Yes,
is
they
the
are.
new
That's
generation.
no,
not true.
let's
that's
That's
let's
not
not
true.
true.
let's keep it real.
They're not.
Let's
That's
keep
not true. It's
Oh,
some
go
That's
ahead,
not
Linda.
true.
Speak
beautiful
on it. Speak about it.
women who have these procedures done. That if
exactly.
they didn't have, yeah, and if they didn't have these procedures, they would be just as beautiful. So,
They'd be ugly.
what is your definition of ugly, Joe?
Ugly is not just how you look. It's more than listen, it's the look part.
Is it your attitude?
It's the attitude, look. It's the maybe they feel too dark, maybe they too light, maybe they disfigured. Listen,
It
I'm
just
looking at all the BBLs. Something's wrong with them. One girl got a BBL, she got big teeth. So the BBL took away from looking at her face.
Well, wouldn't it be cheaper to go to the dentist though?
Nah, the BBL
some
is
people
cheaper.
ain't got insurance to go to the dentist.
Most people ain't got
That's it.
insurance to go to dentist, to be honest with you.
They
Well,
just
come on,
keep it.
BJ3. I want you to weigh in on this. Like, what do you think? Do you think it's a mental issue? What
It's
these women of today are doing to their bodies, with these, with this cosmetic surgery, with these BBLs? Do you think? Do you agree with what LaShawn saying? Is it a mental issue, or is it something like Linda said, just a monkey see, monkey do, trying to compete with the next woman?
I think it's more of um a little combination.
Or what?
They
What's
it's
the
not
combination?
not mental, but more of a low self-esteem.
So, that, so
That's
you don't think it's ugly in that a little bit?
Well,
Low
I'm not
esteem may
getting
have something
into
to do with
because
being,
Low, low self
what's
with
crossing the
ugly.
line? What's
it's not
crossing the line? I mean, you say eyelashes, you go from eyelashes to boobs and boobs to butt. It's like, look,
They're not
I'm not
getting
getting
BBL.
into
They're
what they
not getting.
decide to do with their
They're
body,
not getting
but
breast no more. It's more of the
What's going
ass
on,
part.
Fred?
Hey, what's up,
what
man?
Hey, Fred.
what up? What up?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
right now
no,
we don't switch up the subject, Fred. We talking about
I mean,
do you think
Yeah, I heard
go
you.
ahead, Lashawn.
no,
finish
I
this
just,
question.
yeah, go ahead.
No cut off, Sean. Let me finish this though.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
not a
all of
problem.
y'all right to a degree, but at the end of the day, our peoples are copycats. We follow everything the white man do. Let's just be real.
Oh my God, that's wrong.
That's
No,
wrong.
they
let's
I
be
they
don't
real.
take
agree.
our
You
No,
stuff.
let
are
me
you
finish.
are
Hold on.
100%
Let me
wrong.
finish. Hold on. Let me finish.
Go
That's
ahead.
what our people do, and let's keep it real. If Nicki Minaj go get her button booze did, or Cardi B go get her button and stuff did, guess what all these young black women doing then? They following all these superstar black women because they wasn't doing that before they was doing it like that. That didn't get severe like that until the stars started doing it.
I
Remember,
just think
Michael
that,
Jackson made Jerry Curl look cool. People hated Jerry Curl and Ace Curl, but when Michael Jackson had it, they loved it.
Well, you know what?
yeah.
Was Michael Jackson one of the first ones that started with this cosmetic BBL stuff?
Um,
Well,
I can't tell you. He started. I know white people did.
Right. But go
I'm,
ahead, DJ
Uh,
Shiny D. I know you
Go
had
ahead.
something you was
I
getting ready to
listen.
say.
Yeah,
well,
I just feel like women do these things to their body because of y'all. And what y'all catcalling at and what y'all liking and what y'all commenting on. And y'all have a bad habit of when a girl is deficient in something, making that her nickname or, bringing that to her attention. So y'all don't realize how much of a complex you actually cause women. And they
wrong.
grow up with this. And so I want everybody to take accountability. I think that we need to stop being so judgmental on one's personal or physical appearance.
Okay,
Stop doing it.
that's wrong too.
Well, before you weigh in, Joe, hold on. I'm gonna let Fred weigh in on the conversation real quick. He looked like he ready to jump in.
No, I'm kind of. I'm still listening, trying to catch up with you guys.
Okay,
So,
go ahead, Joe.
give me a few minutes.
Here's where you're wrong. Both of y'all wrong. Here's where you're wrong at. Again, black people are trendsetters. That's number one. We trendsetters. Everything we do, everybody mock us. The reason why, and then you saying
You
that
just said
it's
we were
you.
followers.
Then you say it was us guys are the reason why they do this. No, they're not. No, we're not. The only reason why women are doing it more often is because they are competing for the same type of dudes that for for the low high ranking guys or the guys or the type because a lot of these women like the same type of dudes. So it's only a few of those dudes. So they competing to get those dudes. What's the high value dudes or the dudes that can do things for them. The BBLs, the bigger
You
the BBL,
talking
that's
about
why
these one percenters that most of these women that will not never get.
the 1 to 5 percenters.
Right.
They are all are competing for the same guys. There's a sketch on Key and Peele where they will both wear hats, fitted hats, and they will keep getting ridiculous fitted hats. They would get one hat, and then the other guy, Kenan, would get the bigger hat. And this is what the women do. They get bigger and bigger, bigger, bigger BBLs because they thinking that they are attracting those type of guys. Y'all are in competition with each other.
See,
That's
and
all.
you know what, and not to, I know you was getting ready to jump in, DJ Shiny D. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna say the same thing Joe was kind of saying. I think it's the women in competition with each other because men. I mean, yes, I mean some of the stuff. Do we like to look at it? Yes, but what we want to marry that and take that home? No, it's good to just excuse my language, but just to fuck on. That's just how most men look at situations or women who have BBLs that like that. And I kind of agree too. Like far as we are trendsetters, but what our people has done, we've taken it to a whole nother level with the
Right.
ridiculousness of these BBLs. You know, most women just used to do it like if you had like, you know, okay, with flat women, I mean, with white women, used to, Joe said, you know, white women started that, you know, most women would do it, you know, because they had literally flat asses, you know, with just to get a little butt lift. You know what I mean? Our women don't take it to the
I
point where
agree.
they walking around looking like motherfucking ants with shitty diapers.
Well, Fred, I'm gonna restate the question just so you know what we're
You
talking
know,
about.
so yeah, I know
Wait,
what you're getting ready to say. So to me, that's a mental
let me say the
dysfunction. Go
question.
ahead, DJ Shiny D.
Yeah, Fred,
That's true, though. It's mental.
the question was, do you see plastic surgery as a form of mental illness? Is there a mental illness behind getting your body done?
Right.
Yeah, getting that. And I don't agree with y'all because y'all starting at women. Women really just started liking women as much as they do. This is something that is new in our lifetime.
I
What?
just think
And
I think
Oh,
social media
let me
just exposed it more. But go ahead,
the,
LaShawn. My bad, baby.
I
whoa.
agree. It may, and that may be the case. That may be the case. I don't know. But what I can say is, for me, what caused my, you know, self-esteem issues, or my body conscious issues, was from men. Because my girlfriends would say stuff, but it was the men that would always comment and make a big deal out of stuff when I was young and impressionable. And
Right.
so I kind of grew up with that. So I find it funny that y'all are so experts on women and
But you
doing
know
all
what,
that type of
LaShawn, you talking
shit.
about the times that me and you grew up in. The times that we probably talking about now is these times of today with the
Yeah,
mindset
but it
of the women of
follows you.
today.
It follows you. You don't understand how a woman, if she has a part of her body
You
that
know
she hates, it follows her. She's always going to
what?
hate that part, especially if she doesn't go and work out religiously and she doesn't do anything to
I,
change that. She's all like, if I got bigger arms, so I try not to wear my arms out so much, but that's for me. That, you know what I mean? That's for me, and what I feel like men want, and what I
See,
feel like men
I
like.
agree. I agree with her to a degree because we can if a woman got low self-esteem, a guy can make it worse. So I agree to I agree to a extent. But at the end of the day, yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Love to be us. People want to be us, but let's not get it twisted. If we pay attention, we have become the followers. Not all of us, but
mm,
we have become the followers.
there was a time where men liked afros and women with little plaits in their hair and stuff, and then there was a time where they did it.
But that's because the
Well, they
lights
thought
and
it was
darks.
ugly.
That's because the lights and darks went against each other. Because now you see a black woman with a short haircut, or she got to be gay. Why she can't be fine? Or when you see a dark skinned woman, oh, she cute to be dark. Why she got to be cute to be dark? Why she can't just be cute?
right.
Yeah.
See, but and I want to, and not to cut you off, Dave. I want to go back to what
No,
LaShawn
you
was saying.
good.
LaShawn, I agree with you 100% on what you were saying. There's nothing wrong with like say for instance, like you said, you don't like your arms. That's something that's not extreme. What me and Joe was talking about is the extreme that that you see most of women. And I'm not going to even say black women. I'll just say women of today because you do have Latinos, and some white women that that's out here looking stupid and ridiculous. But for the most part, it's our women who's out here leading the race in this ridiculous BBL bullshit. You know what I mean? With the ant-shaped booties and the saggy diapers looks. So what I'm saying to answer your question, LaShawn, there's nothing wrong with maybe getting a little small cosmetic with your arms, or maybe even like if you got something wrong with your nose that you may not like, little small simple things like that. But but
But
the
it's
whole
all
thing
life
of
threatening.
changing.
All of it is life threatening. All of it. Anytime you get put under anesthesia, it's life threatening.
Yeah,
So
but you
even
most likely you
if
don't
I
hear
don't
too
like
many
my
people dying
arm,
about having their nose jobs done. versus these
I mean, but
BBLs.
they could though. It could very
Mhm.
well happen. You file
It could
you
happen.
sign a disclaimer
No,
saying
I agree, but
that
I'm just
might
saying
not.
it's most likely to happen with the stuff that they're doing today, especially with these our women. They're going over to Brazil, these other countries where these
Mexico.
you don't even have certified doctors doing this shit.
No, you don't. But those are
Yeah,
the chances that they're willing to take
yeah,
to get the
and that's
attention
to me
to
that's a
get the
mental issue of
to,
what you asked the
to get
question.
to get the attention that they want.
Right,
This is about the attention that one desires.
right.
And
So
if you
Okay.
want to walk down the street and men to
She's
be
right about that.
flirting with you and pulling you over and at the club you twerking the best, if that's what drives you, then yes, you are willing to put your life on the line to get this cosmetic surgery.
yeah, and
I'm
who's
not
doing
willing
that
to
the
do no
most? Who's
harm.
doing that at a high rate?
I think
Let's be
everybody.
honest.
I think
Who?
everybody. I
I
think everybody.
see our own people the most, and we
Yeah, that's the. I
that
would say
up.
that.
And when
You
we
said, hold on. What you would say? You say
I,
what?
I
I,
said what I said what people you see doing that the most just out here, with the ridiculous, just with all these BBLs and just just being ridiculous with it. You
It
know what I
ain't.
mean?
It ain't. It ain't us. We the lowest. We're not spending. We don't have the money to be doing that as much.
oh, these
So
girls
you
are
so you see
financing
white
her.
girls going over to
Yeah.
Brazil,
Because
getting
they.
these cheap
Yeah.
BBLs, dying and stuff. And what I mean is that's what I'm talking about. You only see our women going over to these countries, because most the other women they'll get the jobs done over here. It's only
Yeah, because
our
they got the
women
money.
that's risking
Yep.
their lives on getting these BBL jobs done. And to me, like LaShawn said, it has to be a mental issue for you to put yourself through this situation.
well, dang,
Well,
he
I think it's something to do with low self-esteem also, and the way that we
Yeah.
treat our women is
Oh, here we go with that.
we don't
Yeah. Thank you, Frank.
Oh my God.
spread. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Fred. Speak on it.
I think it's about low self-esteem in order trying to satisfy somebody else to
be right back.
putting yourself through the pain of surgery. I can't see my, you know, I got a gut, and I'm like, if I need to get it off, I probably need to work it off.
Right.
Or,
And
you
that's
know,
most people would think like that. Most people would a straight mind. And I'm just
yeah,
gonna
well,
be honest. Most men think that way. You don't see a lot of men out here getting these BBLs or
that's what I'm saying.
cosmetic things done to themselves. Unless it's something small.
They do in LA.
They do. Yeah,
Well,
I'm
yeah. Well,
saying like
maybe in
they do.
L.A.
Yeah, they do.
Hey,
In
gay man.
Atlanta,
Gay
Atlanta is
man.
They
a big
do
deal.
in
Right. Well,
Atlanta.
L.A. is the land of the fruity pebbles.
No, no,
Atlanta,
L.A. and
nah,
Atlanta
Atlanta, I
is a
should
big
say.
deal. They getting
yeah,
calf implants. They getting six packs. They getting they getting chest
everything.
muscles added, pectoral muscles. So I think
Uh,
that social media has kind of made it worse because
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah, yeah.
and
Hmm.
thinking that because people think that Kim Kardashian is beautiful, and guess what?
and
I
she
don't.
don't. And she don't. Low
Yeah,
self
I
esteem.
don't
She done
think
got
so.
everything done.
Yeah, I don't think that there's nothing really real about her. So yeah, if that's the case, get you a sex doll. Like just get you a sex doll. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
No, I just don't think black women are doing it more. We don't have the resources to do it more. The average black woman don't. But I do think that white women are competing with black women just for that type of blow up, like in the videos and the talk shows and the bad girl clubs and
Yeah,
um,
because all the
the
things that you naming,
notoriety.
Joe, I only see a lot of mostly black women with these. Not saying that white women don't do it at some point, but not at the rate that you see our women is what I'm saying.
I
No,
mean,
let me tell you.
it's
Let me tell
I
you.
think
White
it's a lot of
women,
stuff.
they
Hey,
get white women get boob jobs. They've been getting boob jobs forever,
For
and I would
years.
say
Yeah.
most of them do. Most of them, at some point in life, the black women don't. It's not that number, uh, that
mm-mm.
large of a number that everybody's getting something. So
Hmm.
no, no, it's the white folks has been getting it. And but you're talking about like super big, like maybe
Yeah,
not
we just
super
talking
big, but
about
that's
this
just.
just you don't see
But
white
who
girls
draws the
walking around
line?
here
Like
looking like
what's
ants, or really even Mexican girls. You know what I mean?
who's the size police on how big a BBL is supposed to be? You know, so how you can't say this one is nice but that one ain't. If they get it, they got it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
I don't like it.
But
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, me neither. And I was just to
I don't
stick
like it.
on the
I'm
subject,
a
on the
natural
topic.
dude. I like
What
natural
LaShawn
hair.
You
had
don't
brought up to
like
me,
it,
I just think it's a mental
No,
issue.
Yeah,
no.
you don't like it, but do you comment on it? Do
I
you
mean,
holler at it?
I
Do
the,
you like it on Facebook? Do
so
do
here.
Yeah, I comment on it,
yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie. Some of the girls, some of the bodies, some of the BBLs do look good. You know what I
I
mean? So I'm not
I
gonna say, and those are the ones
I,
that's just not ridiculous with it.
I
Walking
like
around
it.
like where this isn't. It's just what I mean.
I
Well, no, I
only
don't. I
I
don't. I don't
only like
understand.
it.
Walking around looking like an ant, looking like you
Well,
got
I
guess
shit
what?
in your
I
in your
Stop liking
I,
pants.
it. Stop
I only
liking it.
like I only like it. I only like it for lust purposes.
And most men,
That's what
like
it
I
would
said, at
be
the end of the
about.
day,
It
man,
would
I don't
never be
think
any
women
more
is
than that.
doing it for men. They're doing it to compete, like Joseph said, with
Yeah.
other women. To me, you know
Yes.
what I mean? Because
I
most
think it's
men would
both.
not want to take that
It could be
home.
making money.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
for
it's both.
making money purposes. That's it.
Yeah. That
I
could
think
be
it's
it.
both. Okay, because my question is always, um, how has your life changed? Has your life gotten better since your BBL, or has it
Exactly.
just
See, and these are the
gotten
questions that you have to ask those women that's getting that done.
Most of them women
worse?
are getting something out of it. They're getting attention, they're getting money, they're getting free meals, they're probably getting a couple of dollars when they cash out when they need it. I think they're getting some out of it. Most of them.
Yeah, but I see a lot of y'all still at the
They ain't
bus
getting
stop.
married though.
Y'all
Not
still
most
at
But
the
of
at
them.
what
bus stop.
cost? Yeah, yeah, you're right. At
So the
what
butt
cost do
didn't
they?
get you a car. The butt didn't get you a better house. The butt didn't, is not doing what you think it was gonna do. You thought a man was just gonna come swoop you up, think you were so beautiful with the perfect body and all that, but men are telling you they don't like that.
I
Yeah,
also
and I
think
agree with you. Look, 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 look,
it's how you advertise it.
look at what these BBLs have done to the mindset, of most. I'm going to say most of our black women. They think that all they got to do is show ass, and and that's all they have to bring to the table.
Yeah, and
But
because it
that ain't black
works.
women. That's all women though. That's a lot of women, not just
I'm
all
not going to
races of
say
women.
that's why I said most. I'm
Not
not
all
saying
women,
all.
but this most, but
Majority of
not
the
black
women
women
that
though. You
that
mean
we
women?
may
Period.
that most single men may come in contact with. You know what I mean? The mindset of that they have. Since this BBL stuff, has existed. I should say.
Well, let me ask this to the men, okay? Because like I said, I still need y'all to have some accountability for the way these women are acting right now. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
a
nothing
little
about
bit.
their self-esteem, because that's N-word, but I'm just talking about their standard of beauty. Um, what how many men do you know from back in the day? We talking pre-black women plastic surgery. How many men do you know that are married and they ain't super happy, but they married because she was bad as hell and
Yeah,
she got pregnant?
beauty's only skin deep.
But how many of y'all,
It ain't
how
gonna
many
last.
men
It ain't
are
gonna
with a
last
woman?
always.
How many men are with a woman that, got caught up because she was fine or she had a big old ass and they didn't mess around and had kids with her and all that, you know?
A lot of marriages like that. More than
Yeah, I
that.
was gonna say it's a lot of people, women out, men out here with women that got caught up in the situation that you're talking about, Shani D. You know,
Yeah, I think that men pick
I'm
women
listening to you
not
too.
only based off of what they like, but what they feel their friends and their circle will like as well.
mm,
They
Like
do.
you're not
They
gonna
do.
take a heavy. You might like a real heavy set woman, but are you gonna take her, to the pool hall where your boys at? You know what
right.
I mean?
Well,
So
I think nowadays those are called your slinky links.
your sneaky
No,
link.
back in the day, they used to be like that.
Your
But
sneaky link or whatever they
but
call it.
most, yeah, but most women are big now.
Well,
Yeah,
no, they're not because they're getting
Yes,
surgery.
they are.
They're getting things sucked
I'm
out.
talking. You were saying the big, like they big, and once you take it to the pool hall, most women are thick.
Yeah, I mean, but there are some women that you are not going to take. You only going to see her at 1 o'clock in the morning. You're not going to take her around your friends. You're not, and she knows this. She feels this. So yeah, I'm going to risk my life
Okay.
because I want to be chosen. I want to be, I want to be somebody's number one. I'm tired of being a side chick. So let me
right.
add these enhancements. So somebody, but like I said, y'all didn't tell them that y'all wasn't picking BBLs for wives until after they started getting BBL. Y'all was late on that. Y'all should have told them before surgery. Hey,
Well,
you're not gonna be a wife.
most men tell their women that they don't even want a woman with a BBL. You know, these are the women like that we were talking about earlier. You know, that's making money with these surgeries. But you know, this
That's what I'm
conversation kind of
thinking.
Y'all
ties
just start
in
saying it.
with the first conversation. Do you think a man would be most happy with a woman who has a BBL?
No, I don't.
Mm-mm. Nah,
Me neither.
because if she got the BBL, that tells me that she didn't do it just for one person. She did that to
Yeah,
attract multiple people. She
yeah,
didn't
Exactly.
get the BBL just for you because she
yeah.
would never done that. That's for everyone. That's for the higher bidder.
And if you go for no, if you go for a long-term relationship,
She ain't gonna stick
somebody
around.
like that, huh?
Mm.
Go
She
ahead. Go
She
gone.
ahead.
wants she gone.
Go ahead, Fred.
She
Fred.
gonna
I'm sorry, I called you Frank. I'm sorry, Fred.
if she goes for that, and then the next guy that comes along with
Yeah.
say a nice Mercedes truck or something, and you went for that with her, what's she gonna do? She's gonna leave with the other guy.
Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe not,
What if she got it? What if she
but
got it for herself, for her own self-esteem?
Or what if your
That's
wife came to you and said, I'm unhappy about this and I want
oh,
to go and have some work to get it changed?
The answer would be
okay.
See
the
now,
answer.
I mean that's a difference.
Is that a
If your
difference?
wife came to you and asked you that, and she wanted to get some minor things done, but this ridiculous, two basketball looking, BBLs, most men
Oh
would not
hell
want
no.
to marry or bring that type of woman home,
I'm
But
thinking health
okay, so
wise,
look,
dude.
let's
I'm
be
thinking health wise.
and health
Like,
wise too.
yeah,
let's look at it from a
that's
real
unhealthy.
standpoint. Your wife come to
Surgery
you
have
and say, your wife come to you and say, I want a BBL. You say, okay. You don't know it look bad until after the fact.
The
You
answer
ain't
is hell no.
you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if
so
my wife came to me and asked me my opinion on that, and if I had opinion, I would say what Joe said. Hell no.
well,
Ain't no.
uh,
I do got opinion. The answer is no.
is anybody that's married mate, even if they asked them or didn't ask them when they got a surgery, is that a reason to divorce them?
If my wife make a decision like
I would
that
say
without
yes.
talking
Yeah,
to me, that's divorceable.
And
yeah,
Yeah.
what if she talks to
Yeah,
you
who is that for? Who's
about
that for?
how look like this
right, right, Fred.
Right.
and you
Right.
don't approve of it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Again,
so
she
now
don't
you
make
know
no.
what to do. What
Or in
if
most cases, if
that
you're
I want
married,
to
and she
look
go
like
do have a procedure like that, BJ3. That's what BJ3 come in handy. Make sure she got
Look
some
like she
life
on the
insurance
phone.
on her.
Right.
listen.
Yeah,
in the
but
else
Boy, by not ever don't do some shit like that. Get BBL out talking to me.
go ahead. What you say, Joe?
Who's he
She better
say?
she better ever make no major decision out talking to me.
no, but the other
Yeah.
question was what if she
I don't do it.
what if she talked to you about it and you agreed on it? Then she said, and she come home with it looking like Dane said, two basketballs and all that.
Yeah, she's
Then what
definitely gonna
do
get
about
it's gonna be a problem. It should be an issue.
Well, it won't
Yeah.
be a problem because we don't know how it's gonna come out. I mean, you can't guarantee it's
Right.
gonna come out the way I can't imagine
I mean, you
vision
can
how it's
tell the
gonna be.
doctor if you
That's
want two
my fault.
basketballs or you just want like a little slight, little rump back there.
It's like drawing a picture. Your intention was to have it looking like this, but it came out something different.
well, we know in America, it costs way more money, and that's why a lot of these girls are going to these foreign countries.
Yes.
Yeah. And
They
don't know what they
Yeah,
getting put in their butt.
exactly.
A
So to
lot of them
me,
a lot of them getting some of them people putting concrete in their butt
right,
yeah,
fix it
and
flat.
silicone and leaving them on
Hmm.
the bed there. I mean, down in Mexico. And
Right.
it's like, why did you go there, honey? I mean,
they
why
coming back and they dying.
they
They coming
coming
Hmm.
back dying? Yeah. Is it
That's
worth
what
it?
it feels like.
That's an
Exactly.
Black
And
issue of
black
low
men,
self-esteem to me.
see, and
That's
black men.
what it is.
back to what LaShawn was saying. You got to have a mental issue, to be able to go to another country, where it's a chance that you may die, to get this procedure done. I mean, you got to be out of your mind.
that let
Well,
you
let me say this.
know.
This is how black men can help. Okay.
Go
So
ahead.
if we're gonna come up with a solution, this is how you can help.
There we
Even
go.
a woman that is not as your type or something you may see as beautiful, it doesn't cost you anything to say good morning, beautiful, or
Yeah,
you know you look nice today, or you look
yeah,
pretty today, and stop.
yeah.
You know these songs they bring up one type of woman, and so everybody's listening to the same artistry, and you know thinking that that's what men want. So stop lying in your music. Stop lying in your talk if that's not what you want. And just compliment a woman that goes the extra mile to try, you know, whether I got short hair or long hair, you know, it doesn't cost you anything to, you know, call me beautiful or say pretty. You say women are emotional and women, you know, feed off of that stuff. Well, you know what ticks them off. So let's start giving them more of what they need.
Okay. And I agree with you 100
Yeah, I agree.
percent. You
I
know,
I
do
agree
too.
we do
100%. I
need to
agree.
start acknowledging, you know, our women a little bit more. You know, therefore they won't have to feel like they need to, you know, get these surgeries done. You know, because our women are naturally beautiful. You know, and they need to be told this. But go ahead, Fred.
And as fathers, we need to build our daughters' self-esteem up also, and call them instead of letting all the people instead of letting out leave it up to a song. Because a thing in my life, I used to ride around listening to all kind of rap music with the N word in it, and it was like, and I was with my son in the car, and then I think, and now I done matured up out of that. It's like, you know, that's leading them down the wrong path
Yeah.
by example.
Right.
And that's somebody my daughter looked up to. I was somebody my daughter looked up to. We used to ride around and listen to New Edition. And now she still remembers those times. And I'm proud of that I didn't let her I didn't play a lot of rap music around her or
Right.
anything that would, you bitch this, you bitch that,
Right.
you know, and bitches that we do it to our daughters too.
Right.
We're guilty of that part too. As
No,
Yeah,
I
I am
agree.
we talk about
as a
women
man.
wanting the one percenters, but you know, as I could see, especially back in the day, the men, most of the young guys, they like the same 1% of the women. You know what I mean? They liked a
It's peer
certain type
pressure
of woman. It
too.
was a certain type
That
that
I agree
all the
with you. That's peer pressure.
kind of liked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm not. And back then we didn't have social media. I think it was more peer pressure, and what LaShawn was talking about. What a certain girl was the light skinned, certain look type girl. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, all of I'm gonna go back to what Fred was saying. You know, at the end of the day, it goes back to fathers being there in the house to be able to uplift you know those daughters and let them know like, hey, look, you're beautiful as is. You don't need what you see these other girls out here doing, what you see on social media. You know, so it comes with the uplifting. It starts first at home, you know, with the mothers and the fathers in the household. You know, especially the fathers, letting these young daughters know that, look, baby, you beautiful. You know what I mean? You know, and that goes a long way. You know, hearing that from a man that you know that loves you. You know what I mean? So a lot of these young women that we see out here that's doing this and destroying themselves, and a lot of these women that's losing their lives, are coming from a household that doesn't have a father in it. You know what I mean? So yeah, you hit that right on the nose. You know what I mean? So most I think if most girls hear that they're beautiful from their fathers first, they'll go out into the world, not worrying about having to have a BBL, and just having a man judge them and loving them for who they are. But I don't have anything else to add. DJ
I
Shiny D,
do.
I'm gonna allow you
I
to lead
do.
us out.
Yeah, just one thing. And this is to you guys. Black men set the temperature for the culture. And I think that just we need y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. We need y'all. We need y'all to be present. We need y'all to be active in the neighborhoods because we are nothing without y'all and we are lost. And I do think that the
I
lack
agree.
of men
I agree.
around some women will cause them to do other things. And so that's why
I
it's
agree.
thank you,
Go
Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
ahead.
Well, Big Dave,
Need you to
give
be
us your last
leaders.
words
We need
on this
we
subject.
need
I mean, Sean, she hit it all on the dot, you know what I'm saying? we just have to do like we supposed to do as men. You know what I'm saying? Teach our children what they need to know. The fathers that's still in the household, because a lot of them don't have fathers in the household, and that's a problem.
I'm present.
You know, so that's all I can say on that.
Okay, well, Joe, give us your last words and let everybody know what you got going on.
Well, again, I think she's right about that, DJ, and just it takes us to lead the way. And it's our fault. It's our fault for a lot of this stuff going on. The guys we are men are supposed to lead the way. It's biblical. It's always been back from the day of man existence. We are supposed to be the leaders. And we fell off the wagon hundreds and hundreds of years. That's why women getting BBLs, eyelashes, and it's all and just doing all the crazy things because there's no structure, there's no guidance, there's no trusted guidance. And that's the reason why it's happening. So yeah, I take ownership. We as men, all men, but for the black culture, it's our fault.
Okay, and I
I
agree with
It's
agree.
you
our fault for a lot of this
100%.
going on.
Fred, give them, let everybody know what you got going on, where they can reach you, and give everybody your last words.
Okay. Yeah, we have a company called Pulse Creations, and we're involved in certain things of like autism awareness, because that's another problem in our community. Whereas people think it's funny that somebody is mentally
Challenge or disabled.
a challenge. Yeah, it's not funny. It's a serious thing, and it leads to a lot of dumb stuff in our neighborhood,
Right.
in our hoods. Okay, yeah, that's on that part. And to lead us out on that, what you were saying about it's like it's kind of hard to go. We need the children that we come in contact with on our streets and our neighborhoods. I got to figure out a way to they build their self-esteem up. Also, the young ladies that's on my street, on the young girls, like the 12-year-olds, 9 and under. I got to find a way to make them feel good about themselves rather than shaking their little butt up and down the street on the sidewalk.
Right. Yeah.
Because, it's
because
they're
looking at the Cardi B's and the Kim Kardashians and what they see on social media.
They're role
and
models.
They think they got to be like that. But go ahead, DJ Shiny D.
I can help you. I can help you with some stuff. I've actually been the director for Black and Hispanic Achievers, for a homeless shelter for teen moms. I've taught etiquette training. I've done a lot. So I could probably give you some ideas on that, Fred, on how to at least start.
Reaching out to my neighbors. Well, yeah, without being weird, and it's kind of scary not to. Some people would think you was weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see, you'll be able to do that with what you got getting ready to go on now, Fred, with your with your podcast coming up. So you'll be able to reach out to them in that type of way. You know what I mean?
I got a feeling.
Yeah. There's ways to do it.
So Big Dave, let everybody know what you got going on and where they can reach you.
I'm a podcaster, and you can get with me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Real Talk with Big Dave. And you can get me on Facebook at Big Dave Crawford. My email, dcraw, #1boy2 @gmail.com. I'm doing some of everything. I'm having guests. And we're going to have phone interviews and everything. We're going to be reaching out all over.
Okay, that's what's up. And first and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming on the show. It's definitely been a great conversation and good talks. DJ Shiny D always come with the good, controversial conversations. You know what I mean? And like I said, Fred, I had a panel up here that was ready to subscribe to you guys' channel. So definitely going on over there and get everything set up. You know what I mean? So, over here, it's about we network with each other. So you have people over here that's ready to, follow you and subscribe to your channel, so we're going to back you up 100% in everything that you got going on over there.
I appreciate it. And Sonny, your information there that you had, Sean?
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Okay. So do you have a website or?
I do not, because I'm new to Detroit. I
Okay.
just moved here. So when I did social services, I was in Chicago. So, but I'll make sure we'll have our whole conversation. I actually have some literature that I came up with that I could actually give you.
Yeah,
as
well,
kind of
whenever
like
you're
a
ready,
reference.
Fred, I'll make sure that I can give you DJ Shiny D information, so when y'all ever ready to
Okay.
link up.
And
For
by the
sure.
way, Johnny D, I was born in Waukegan.
Oh, get out of here, neighbor.
Okay,
What's
yeah.
happening?
Yeah, see,
No,
there you
okay.
go. See, that's crazy. But that's what we do over here on the What Up Though show, but at the end of the day, Fred hit it on the nose. A lot of our women, has grown up with not fathers in the household to be able to tell them that they're beautiful. So their self-esteem is kind of low, from the start. You know what I mean? So it starts at home. It starts with fathers. We have to do our job, first. You know what I mean? So I don't have anything else to add. It's been a good conversation, great talk. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming on the show. It's your boy Dame D, and we are out. Peace.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, dude. And appreciate all of you guys.
All
Thanks for
right.
the